What's up, good people of the internet? Welcome back to PTMTR, where today we are going to be making some perfect pancakes. Trust me, they're going to be amazing. Pancake day is coming up, so let's get this shit right. Firstly, we're going to start it all off by weighing out 175 grams of plain white flour. In there, we're going to go with 3 tablespoons of plain white sugar. I don't like bland pancakes. I like mine sweet, so feel free to skip this step if you want. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. You can go up to 2 to 3 teaspoons just to make them a bit more fluffier, but I don't like the flavor it gives off after that. Then just a pinch of salt and run it all through a fine sieve. Okay, and we just want to make sure there's no clumps in there, and finally give it a good mix to make sure everything's incorporated evenly. This mixture is actually good to go. It's much better than the stuff that you're going to get from the shops, the store-bought stuff. Pack it off in a cool, dry area, and trust me, you're good to go whenever you need it. In a separate bowl, we're going to weigh out 250 milliliters of whole milk. Use whole stuff, don't skimp, yeah? Go in with 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And then try to look impressive by spinning an egg. Realize it doesn't work. Okay, that's enough of that. Feel free to skip this step. You can just put the whole egg in. But what I'm going to do is separate the yolk from the white and just keep it on the side. And make sure there's no fat in here. And we're going to whisk it until it forms stiff peaks. So just go in with a hand blender if you've got one, or just with a normal whisk. And that's the kind of consistency you're looking for. Set it aside for a bit. Now get yourself a pan with normal butter, and you're just going to melt it down. Make sure it's on a really low heat because you do not want to brown this butter. And go in and warm your milk up as well, and just pour the butter and milk in, just so then it doesn't, solidify again. Give it a good mix through. Create a little well inside the flour and just pour in your wet mix. Now don't forget about the egg yolk. Just give it a good gentle stir through. Now you don't want to over mix this, don't over agitate it. You don't want to start encouraging gluten development. Remember, these are going to be cakes, so we want them to be fluffy and light and tender. And then just set it aside for about 5 to 10 minutes just to help the proteins in the flour relax. And once that's done, we're going to start folding in our egg whites. Now being careful not to mix it in or stir it in, we're going to incorporate the egg whites by folding it into the mixture. And keep gently folding it until you reach a sort of even consistency. It doesn't matter if there are a couple of lumps in there. It's to be expected from pancake batter. Now here I've kept a glass bowl and a whisk in the freezer for about 10 minutes just to make sure they're ice cold. Now you don't actually have to do this step. You can just go out and buy the store-bought stuff, but don't do it. Pour in yourself about half a cup of cream and go in with about a tablespoon's worth of confectionery sugar. Okay, maybe a little more, but just do it to however sweet you want your cream to be. Start by mixing it. Now what we're aiming to do here is to agitate it to a point where the fat molecules start to clump together and start to thicken up the cream. Don't over churn it because then it will inevitably turn into butter. But when all is said and done, hopefully you should have ended up with something like this. Something smooth, glossy with stiff peaks. Just sort of a side note, if you wanted to add some sort of flavouring into your mix, you can. So I've tried it with lemon extract, and trust me, the cream turns out amazing. Onto the actual frying of the pancakes. Make sure you're using a low heat on an unoiled dry pan, and make sure it's as non-stick as you can get it, just to ensure an even browning, and it's just going to look beautiful. Once your pancake starts looking like this around the edges, it is literally the coup de grace. If you mess this up, well, let's hope you don't. And just look at that even consistent browning. Now due to the kind of ridges I have on the pan, I've got sort of spots on mine, but I've done it with a flat pan before and it just turns out so nice and glossy and picturesque. Now this is just presentation. I'm just gonna put some whipped cream on the side, just decorate it with a variety of berries that I've got. Got some blackberries here, some raspberries, and then I'm going to fan out some strawberry as well. And I'm also going to put in a whole one just for presentation. It just looks pretty, I think. The green makes the scene. Top your butter off again because you took too long presenting and it all melted away. And just finish it off with a drizzle of classic maple syrup. Just look at that. If your mouth is watering right now, you have to hit that like button. That's it. Those are the rules. It's done and dusted. Talking of done and dusted, we're going to throw back to the 70s and cover everything in confectionery sugar just because it looks lived. Dig in, regret yourself, whatever you need to do, I don't care, try it. It's amazing, and happy pancake day. Now bearing in mind, pancakes are pretty much a blank canvas. You can do whatever you want, so get creative, put whatever you want in it. Maybe try taking a savoury route. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to leave a link to my Patreon channel. If you like what I do, then please support me. Just go ahead and check that channel out. Happy cooking.